Hi everyone, it's Jeff here from Avada. In this video, I'll take a look at the Avada factory pre-built. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon to be notified of all new content. Okay, let's begin. The Avada factory pre-built site is a tour de force of a website, highlighting many of Avada's features and current techniques. It's a strong commercial site and could easily be customized for a wide range of business types. Let's look at some of the great design features in the pre-built. The homepage loads sporting a distinct blue and orange color palette with a full width header section, a title and 3 buttons, followed by a column slider with a gradient overlay. In the container under the header section, we can see a pattern in use, a design feature which is repeated many times on the site. There is also a very clever gradient and rollover effect on all the buttons on the site. But let's start with the global header layout. This is a 100% width header with the logo, a menu, a button, and an icon triggering an off canvas. The home link on the menu sports a mega menu, displaying the 2 home pages. Then comes an about page, a services page with another mega menu displaying the 4 services, a pages link to an FAQ page, a project page and a board of directors page, a news link to the blog, and a contact link. This is repeated with the Get in Touch button, and at the end the icon opens an off canvas sliding bar that also functions as the main navigation on smaller screens. If we come down to a medium screen, we can see the main menu disappears, and on small screens, just the logo and off-canvas icon remain. The alternate homepage has a slightly different header with the top bar and different colors, but otherwise it functions in the same way. Okay, let's look a bit closer at the color palette. I'll just head to the Global Options and the Colors tab. This has the usual 8 color palette with a blue and orange as the primary and secondary colors, with various tones of black and white filling the remainder of the spots. And an extra 9th color has been added as well, a light blue that is used on some backgrounds and separators. But what is most interesting about this color palette is the strong use of luminant shift on the blue color throughout the site. The blue in the color palette is actually this blue that you can see on the rollover of the menu items. But you will note that there are several other blues throughout the site, like the background of the header and the first container, which are achieved by applying a luminant shift of varying degrees to color 4. If I edit the first container, you can see color 4 has been applied, and if I edit the global color options, we can see a luminance shift of -25. This technique is used across the site and is a great way to use extra colors while still tying them to the global colors, so that if I change the global color 4 to green, everything else would shift with it. Okay, before we look at some individual design examples on the site, let's dig a bit into the features used on this site. The portfolio post type has been used for the projects, and the FAQ post type is also in play. There are 10 layouts in all, a global layout, 1 for the alternate homepage, 2 for the inner pages sporting 2 different page title bars, a single portfolio, services and post layout, an archives layout, and a search results and 404 layout. These layouts use 12 different layout sections, including 2 headers, 4 page title bars, 5 content layout sections, and a footer. There are 2 off canvases in the form of the side menu and a newsletter pop-up, 4 forms, and if we head to the library, we can see there are 6 postcards, 2 mega menus, and 10 global items, including 3 global containers and 7 global columns. Okay, so now let's look at some of the design highlights of the site. One in particular I like are the buttons, with this corner of color that expands on rollover. If we look at this in the builder, we can see it's on default style. So if I go to the global options, we can see how this is achieved. So the initial color is color 5, and on rollover we have color 5 again, with a small luminance shift. Under this we have a hard gradient, starting and ending at 90, which gives us that hard edge. And then the angle of the gradient has been set to 135 degrees. This gives us that little triangle of color in the corner. Now to get the hover transition on rollover, this is achieved with the hover transition option on the button, which is set to background slide left. It's the same effect in the header, just with different colors. This is a very cool effect. There are so many nice design features on this site that I will have to be very picky. As we scroll down this page, we get some sliding features, some image animations, a couple of examples of the title element using the marquee type, some service thumbnails, a subscription pop-up, some more animating images, another example of that button with different colors, a great project postcard with a nice rollover effect, and some team members with another interesting rollover effect. So many things to look at. But let's look at one of my favorites, the single post layout. I'll just open a post. There is a page title bar with a cool pattern and a very factory-inspired custom separator section. And then in the post content area, there is a nice sticky column that starts moving again as you get close to the bottom. To me, that's a very nice post layout. This approach has also been taken on the single service pages, with a top section, and then another sticky column on the right-hand side featuring yet another iteration of that button design. As we scroll further, the sticky column lets go and we come to the bottom, where there are some FAQ items, and below this the footer, again sporting that familiar pattern. The projects as well are very nicely done. If I head to the projects page, we can see a page title bar with a marquee title, and under this there is the project postcard with the hover effect. Let's just edit that postcard to see how that's done. Okay, we have a single column with an image at the top, and then two nested columns. If I edit the first one with the button in it, and head to the Extras tab and the Transform section, we can see there is an initial -35 value on the Translate Y-axis, which brings the button up on the image, and on rollover it goes even further up to -90. But also notice the background color changes on the lower section. Well, that is in fact on the initial column. On the Background tab, it has color 9 as the initial background color, and if I just change to the hover state, we can see it goes to color 1. So a very cool little postcard there. And now if I come into a single project, we see a different page title bar and a nice project layout. Do you notice these thin lines on the page? These are on many pages of the site, but not all, and so are added via the page options, or in this case, as it's controlled by a layout, by the layout section options. So if I edit the portfolio content layout section and go to the layout section options and content, we can see there is a PNG file added to the background image for main content area option here. Okay, let's go back and have a look at a feature I mentioned earlier. This was another rollover effect, this time on the directors. If we go to the Board of Directors page, we can see the effect in action. If you've been following these pre-built breakdown videos, you can probably already guess how this is achieved. If we look at the navigator, we can see it's a simple 1/3 column with an image element, and under that a nested column with a title, text, and social links. If I edit the nested column and head to the Extras tab, we will find an initial opacity of 0 on the column, going to 100 on rollover. And in the Transform section, we can see an initial value of 0 on Translate Y and a -100 value on rollover. The hover element is also set to parent. So combined, as we hover over the column, the bottom nested column becomes visible as it lifts 100 pixels over the image. Okay, one final feature. Let's look at the About page. Here there is the page title bar with the marquee title again, and a little bit down we find a column with a light blue background and a pattern. Now as we mouse over the columns here, they shift to the right and turn white, and the separator moves even further. This one is relatively simple. If I edit the page and the column, we can go to the Extras tab, and on the Hover tab of the Transform section, we will find a 10 pixel value on the Translate X option. And if we go to the Background tab and the hover color, we can see it turns white on hover. The separator is in a nested column, and on that, again on the Extras tab and the Transform section, we will find a 40 pixel shift on hover. Simple, yet very effective. I could continue for ages on this pre-built, but I will leave some features for you to explore. Set up a local server and import this pre-built to fully explore the design at your own leisure. If you're not sure how to do that, see our videos on that subject, link below. Okay, that's the Avada factory pre-built. It's a solid example of what Avada can achieve, and gives you a great head start if you want to build a website like this. Okay, that's it for this video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with all the latest videos, and if you have any questions or need assistance, please create a support ticket and our team will gladly assist you. As always, we want to thank you for choosing Avada.